What's up guys, Noah here. Welcome back to another Python video. Today we're going to be going over while loops. So, have your idle open. If you don't know where I am, go watch the first video in this playlist. Got a whole video there explaining how idle works, how to start writing Python, how to download it. Let's get right into it. So, this video today is actually be kind of short. While loops are a fairly straightforward concept. It's more something where I have to show specific examples of when we're actually going to use it. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of introduce the concept of it. It should be very straightforward. It's a lot easier than for loops, which I know are a pain. So, to start off, what is a while loop? So a while loop is something that keeps repeating while something is true. So if you remember from our if statements, the if statement does something if something is true. A while loop keeps repeating while something is true. So the syntax of a while loop is you have your while, you have your parentheses, which you check for what is true, and then you have your colon. So the perfect example of a while loop is just true, because true is always true. So when I run this, it's just going to go on forever and ever. I'll run this again just so it stops. But the more common example of a while loop is normally comparing two things. Normally it's numbers, but you could be comparing other things as well. So let's say if we said a equal to 0 and then b equal to 10, and then we can say while a is less than b. So print a just to show you guys what a gets to. And then here's the most common thing in the while loop. So at the very end of your while loops, you want to have what's being checked in here change. Because if we just leave this as is, a is going to be 0, b is going to be 10, and that's always going to be true. So we're just going to have a whole bunch of zeros just printed down and down on forever and ever. So if you remember from our accumulators, from our for loop video, and from our review session, we want to keep incrementing a until it reaches that threshold of when it's not less than 10. So there's two ways to do that. You can say a is equal to a plus 1, or the more common way of a plus equal 1. So what this does, it's going to keep adding 1 to a every single time it repeats in the while loop. So for the first time, a is equal to 0. Is that less than 10? That's true. So we're going to print 0. And now a is equal to 0 plus 1, which is 1. And then that's the end of the while loop. And then it's going to come back and check. Is 1 less than 10? Yes. Print 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So I'll run this just so we can see it. And then on and on and on. And then when we get to 9, is 9 less than b? B is 10. So is 9 less than 10? So yes. So we print 9, which we saw here. And then now a is plus equal to 1. So now a is equal to 10. We don't see that here because is 10 less than 10? No, it's not. So then let's go on to the next step. But if I print a here, you can see that it does reach that 10 value. It's just we don't get inside of this while loop because 10 is not less than 10. That's not true. Therefore, the while loop doesn't go through it, as you can see on through there. Yeah, so that's the most common example of a while loop, is just comparing two things to each other, seeing how they work. Another use of while loops is actually a fun fact. At one point, while loops were the only loops inside of coding languages. For loops didn't exist for lists, as I taught you guys in the other video. It was only while loops. So the other functionality of while loops is to go through a list, which I don't recommend at all. Just use for loops. While loops are mainly for checking things. For loops are mainly for like lists and dictionaries and a range of numbers. But just to show you guys how it would work. So let's say we have a list, and I'll just make up some values. Say that. And then we'll say our index right now is 0. So we know that the length of our list right now is 5, but the range is from 0 to 4. Because remember, indexes start at 0 and they count up. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You count it on your hand, you get 5 spots, but it starts from 0 and not 1. Only Roblox Lua that I know of starts from 1. So, how would we iterate through this list with the while loop? First, we need our while. And then we can say while I is less than the length of a list. So we know that i's are going to be our index values, and we know that the length of our list is 5. So the highest that I could ever be is 4, which is exactly what we want. Because if you remember, the highest index is always 1 less than the length of the list. So just to show you, so we'll print a list of I. So what this does is we're getting a list at spot I. So to start off, it's at spot 0. So it'll be A, and then it'll go on and on and on. So when I run this, you can clearly see that I messed up. We have to make sure we have our accumulator value in there, just so we don't have a repeating thing like this. This is very common. I do it all the time when I'm writing while loops. I'll forget the thing that increments through, and I forget to plus equal it or add something to it, and then I just have a stack overflow error. As the simple fix is just I plus equal to 1. So now when we run this, you can see we get A, B, C, D, and E. So we'll say while I is less than the length of a list. So is 0 less than 5? Yes. So then now we're getting a list of 0 because I is 0. And then I plus equal to 1. So now I is 1. So is 1 less than 5? Yes, it is. So print a list of 1. A list of spot 1 is B. And then finally for the last one, when it's 4, 4 is less than 5. So print a list of 4, which is E, because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I plus equal to 1. And then is 5 less than 5? No, it's not. But same thing with the one above. I does become equal to 5, but it doesn't do the stuff inside of the while loop because 5 is not less than 5. That condition is not true. So it skips over that in the while loop. So if I print I here just to show you, you can see that it does end up becoming 5. Cool. So that's really all I got for you guys for while loops. It's more of something that you'll use during coding. I kind of introduce you to the topic of it so you can kind of like get your feet wet with it. But really, it starts to shine when I actually start using it in like writing like core concepts of coding. So you'll have plenty of time to use this in the next review videos and just videos as going forward. But really, I just wanted to kind of get you guys used to what a while loop is and the difference between like a while loop and a for loop. So to end the video, we'll go with the quiz. So there's something cool in Python that you can write out, and it's called like a triangle pattern. So basically, what I want you guys to do is write out a code that results in some variation of a triangle of A's being outputted into the output box. So write a while loop that results in any variation above, as seen above. So it doesn't have to be exactly that thing long, but as long as you get a triangle in there. And just a reminder with strings, if you remember from our string video, if we have A, for example, is equal to P, and then B is equal to, and then C is equal to, I'm just going to write this out and I'll explain it. So remember with strings, there's no physically adding them like 3 plus 3 is 6. Instead, it concatenates them. So if we have A is equal to he, and then B is equal to low, if C is equal to A plus B, it concatenates into one thing. So that's a hint for your while loop. If you can see it getting one greater every time, kind of reminds me of an accumulator, but that's up to you guys. So basically, write a while loop that does any variation of just a triangle pattern. It can be any length you want. It could be 1, 2, 3 things long. It could be a million things long. Doesn't matter. Write it out. Pause the video, and I'll show you how it's done. Alright guys, hope you pause the video. So let's name a variable. We have to start off with something at 0. It can be any number, but I'm just going to start at 0 because that's very simple to me. And then let's say if I want it to be 9 things long. So let's say beta1 is equal to 10. Because remember, we're doing less than 10. So 9 is less than 10, so it'll repeat 9 times. And then we need our thing that actually has those A values, those strings of A. So I'll just say C1 is equal to, right now, just an empty string. So if I say while A1 is less than B1, so we need to print, so we know we're printing C1, but I'm going to write C1 plus equal to A. So now for every single time that this for loop or this while loop runs, C1 is going to keep adding an extra A on and on and on. So if you have this, you're almost right. But make sure, don't forget, if we run this, it's going to be an infinite while loop. Because although we're changing the value of C1 in here, we're not changing anything in here. So this is always going to be true unless I do A1 plus equal to 1. And we're going to make it 70 because why not? We'll have it run for a while. No pun intended. And there you go. Start with our 1A, and then as it goes on, we get one more every single time. Let's see how long we can make this. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys in this video. As always, like, subscribe, leave a comment in the Discord or in the comments section. If you have any questions at all, I'll be sure to answer them as soon as I can. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.